So sleeping is like teleporting, right?
No.
It's exactly like teleporting.
No, it's not.
It's like you lay down and then you go somewhere else and then you're back to where you were, but everything is a little bit aged. That's like teleporting.
No.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Arcane Lounge podcast. Today we are joined by Feltheleb. Welcome,
Time travel.
Fel.
Time travel. You meant time travel, right? Not teleporting.
It could be, but it's also teleporting too. Because when you time travel, it's instant. When you time travel, it's like you go to the future. But when you're dreaming, you go somewhere else.
Teleportation is also instant. If it's not, it's
I'm
lame.
saying sleep is instant, sort of,
No.
but you still go somewhere else. When you time travel, you don't. You go to the future. You don't, when you time travel, you don't step into the time travel machine, hang out somewhere weird for a minute, which has weird childhood trauma on the inside and places that I've never seen before, but I feel like they're really familiar. Liminal spaces, a song I can't get stuck out of my head, and then I'm in the future. That's teleporting. Right?
No.
What sci-fi are you watching? And also, are you okay?
We watched Infinity War and Endgame last night.
Oh, I
back
guess,
to back. So I think
it.
this comes from that.
Do you like the Marvel movies, Fel?
I do. I haven't seen this is probably going to be sacrilege, but I've seen most of the Marvel movies. I haven't seen any of the Spider-Man movies that have come out.
Okay.
And I've heard those are really good.
Any of the new ones?
Any of the
Tom
new
Holland?
ones, anything past, any Tom Holland Spider movie
Okay,
I
all
haven't seen.
Yeah,
'Cause it's hard to
I
get.
mean, I didn't watch them in theaters. I think I saw the second one in theaters, but yeah, I get. Yeah, that's fine.
And I
They're
didn't
okay. They're
watch
good.
Thor: The Dark World, I think.
You don't need to. You don't need to.
I didn't care for watching that movie, and I didn't want to go see it, so I didn't do that.
I love Thor, but that movie is the worst Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Besides
Is that
the
the
whole movie
second-
that's not canon anymore. Yeah.
Is that the second Thor movie that I missed?
Yes.
I would know. I didn't watch it. So
You missed it. So, anyways, Fel, who the heck are you?
I'm Feltheleb. I go by that name on Twitter and on YouTube, and it's FELTHELEB, and it's not like
not that hard,
Fel
guys.
the
Jeez.
Leb. Leb is not a word, and Fel's it's an old World of Warcraft name that I stole.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually not even my World of Warcraft character. It was my brother's. And I took
Betrayal.
it because I didn't
The
want anyone else to
story
have
of
the
betrayal.
same moniker as me online. But I do D&D stuff. I make content on my YouTube channel, and I play in a live game on the channel of a friend named Captain Cheeky for a game called Antumbra Echoes of the Eclipse, where I play a bard. And then Jacob and I play in a improvised D&D live show every Sunday, although now it may be every week, called Tall Tales.
Logan just went, it's weekly now, and we're like, and if you can't make it, then we'll just find somebody else. And I'm like, okay.
He messaged me. He's like, I want to do more Tall Tales. And I was like, okay. And he was like, yeah, we're going to do some more Tall Tales. And I was like, okay, that's fine with me.
I like that it wasn't like a discussion. It was just, I think I want to do this. Yeah, I'm going to do this. Oh, Logan, you silly boy. The last episode had Mario Sack, I heard.
Yeah,
How
it was
did that go?
Mario Sack and Vitamin Dieter and No Nat Ones. Because like the main cast was like you, me, Logan, and Aiden, who is also a D&D content creator, but none of us could make it. So Logan did it with 3 other people.
You
so
recast
kudos
everybody.
to him. Yeah, that's a fun game though. We like revamped how we've been doing it to make it more improv-y. And
I really like
the
the audience participation. That was you, man. That was a great idea.
Yeah, I worked with Logan, and we developed like a audience suggestion style to like use to make a D&D one shot with. It's pretty cool. Check it out.
Yeah, it's a fun time. So, Fel also makes really funny tweets. So go follow him on Twitter.
I think I make more
I know-
content on Twitter than on like YouTube.
Yeah, I
It's
was gonna
sad.
say like I like your YouTube channel. I've watched most of your videos, which are, by the way, like really smart. And then like your Twitter is like memes. It's really funny. So yeah. Anyways, Thor: The Dark World sucks.
Yeah.
Don't watch it.
I don't think it's the worst one though. I actually think it has some good bits. I think any scene with Loki in that movie is really fun
Yes.
because it's Loki. It's Tom Hiddleston. He's
Yeah.
great. But like,
What's your least favorite?
probably the first Thor. I hate that movie. It's so boring and it's long and it's like the resolution's so lame. Like the coolest part in the first Thor movie is like the hammer falls down to Earth and Thor has to go like stealth in and get it and like he can't. That's the coolest part of the movie. The rest of it just sucks. I don't know. I just don't like it. Or I also yeah, no. I'm when
Slow down.
Go ahead and say it. Just say it.
guys, I'm trying really hard, okay? Sometimes my words, I'm just kidding.
Your brain goes too quick.
Yeah.
He's trying not to
Whenever
get
I think
canceled
about
because he doesn't
a
like the
movie that I
second
don't-
Iron Man movie.
Yeah. Whenever I think about movies that I either don't like, it really just comes down to would I watch it again and would I have a hard time watching it again? Most of the MCU movies, yes, that's just because they're very samey. So like it needs to be like years or months before I watch them again and be like, I can enjoy this. But like that first Thor movie is just a headache. What about you? What's your least favorite Marvel movie? Very niche.
I guess I just don't follow the Marvel movies as closely, but I didn't really care for the first Captain America movie. As I like the second Captain America movie more than the first one. It was just kind of the kid gets big muscles and then he fights like he doesn't really even fight the Nazis well, I guess he does fight the Nazis, but I liked when he fight the Nazis. That was cool, but I just didn't really care about him at all.
Yeah, that movie was really like ham-fisted at the end there. They were like, okay, well, we put Iron Man in the end of Hulk. So quick, maybe make Thor. And then, guys, we forgot about Captain America. Oh shit, quick, make a Captain America movie. Now we can make Avengers.
I like the part where Tommy Lee Jones was in it. But I didn't really like, I think the reason I didn't really like it is because he's just as kind of like a goody, like he doesn't really have any character flaws. He just is like he's like, his whole thing is like he's weak and then he gets strong and he's just kind of the perfect person. and like, I don't, at that point, I know what he's going to do. It's not like he's going to like struggle to fight the Nazis or I don't know.
Yeah.
It just was kind of boring to me. Please don't cancel me.
I watched that movie when it came out, but it was like we watched it at home and I just remember being like, that was a movie. But I really like Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier's cool.
It's so cool. And it's like, even out of context from the MCU, it's just like a fun, good movie to watch. Like it's really interesting. And then I recently discovered that because TikTok, that the soundtrack, a lot of the soundtrack was sampled from Sebastian Stan's Screaming.
Is it him or is it just people?
I don't know. People say it's him, and it kind of sounds like him, but like the soundtrack is really creepy, and it has like these like ambient voices in the background. You hear like the and I was like, that's spooky. I wonder what that is, and it's apparently like
People
sampled Bucky just screaming, which is really cool. So yeah, what's your least favorite MCU movie? Sponky?
I don't know. I want to say, Captain Marvel.
You're the only one allowed to say that.
Why?
Because you're a woman. I'm sorry.
I don't know. It was just kind of boring.
I don't hate Captain Marvel.
I like the end of that movie, but like the start when she's kind of just hanging out on Earth is a little boring.
Yeah.
The cameos were nice.
Samuel Jackson's cool in the movie. I actually really like the buddy cop part where they're kind of like, oh, they're doing all this cool stuff and they're like trying to figure things out and it's a mystery for a little while. And then like her motivation becomes like the reason she's a hero is because she is now.
What I really want is another Captain Marvel movie.
Yeah, that kind of goes more into like why she is the way she is.
Like what she did for like the years of like the blip. That would be really neat.
Like just like show some of her personality that isn't like strong, snarky lady. Like, oh, I love the part where she's trapped in the ship and she's trying to escape, but her hands are like metal things, so she's like kind of nullified a little bit and she's just walking around just like punching people. That's so cool. Yeah, anyways.
I'm also not the biggest fan of Iron Man, so
how dare you? Do you like Iron Man? Welcome to the Marvel podcast.
Anyways, podcast where we talk about Iron Man.
Yeah. What you been up to recently, Fel?
Buying a house, which is really, really frustrating. And
Oh my
there's a lot
god,
of-
yes.
There's so much to it, and there's like, it seems like there's something wrong at every turn, and so it is unfortunate, but I'm getting through it. I'm like looking at my phone because I'm worried that my realtor is going to text me and be like, "We got another problem, Fel." Except she would probably use my government name because my name is not Fel.
She calls you Fel.
She loves my D&D content. My realtor
so much. Yeah. Well, that's really exciting though. Moving and stuff.
Yeah, we're looking into it, but also we've tried before, and
I just don't want to go through the pain.
I can feel that. We had one house under contract and then it fell through, and then like it took like everything we could to like get back into that scene. So I don't blame you guys at all.
Yeah.
Jeez. Well, why don't we jump into some questions, because there's quite a few of those and I like a lot of them. Oh, cool. Our first question comes from Feltheleb. Because I don't intend to miss my streak of asking questions on this podcast, will you two switch seats?
I think would that affect our mics at all?
If we unplug them, no.
No,
I mean, we could.
I don't want to. I like my spot. Sorry.
It's been decided, unfortunately. Phil,
All
sorry.
I was looking for was
I'm
a simple
very particular
question.
about where I
Okay.
sit.
Well, this can be a discussion. Would you switch
I got the
seats?
answer.
No,
Okay, all right.
you know,
Well,
I
there
like
go.
my spot.
That's
Even on the stream.
Okay,
I have-
actually, weirdly, this is like a thing. So we have a table. Well, we did, and we're getting a new one. But back when we had our old table, we streamed in person and played D&D. Everybody kind of had their own little spots, and sometimes we would change them because I'm the kind of person that likes to change my spot every time I sit down, because I like to like look at things in new spots and places. I like to move my room around a lot. I like to be in different environments constantly. Spencer does not move. She picks one spot and it's like, that's my spot. If anybody takes it, I'm going to fucking kill them.
Yep.
Was this a conscious choice for the two of you that you would, from my perspective, I guess you're on the left, Jacob, and Spencer's on the right. Did you guys make that choice, or did it just end out this way?
I chose this spot. I sat in that chair and went, and then I sat in this chair.
I let
and
her
went,
choose because I didn't care.
Yeah.
I was watching Jacob realize that he didn't make that choice. He's like he didn't
Like,
make
wait,
the
did
the
choice, that
chair?
the choice was made for him. He's like,
There
wait a
was a-
minute.
What else have I not chosen?
There was an episode of Tesseract where I came in from, I don't know, I didn't have work that day, something. And Logan put Colton in my spot and was like, this is where Colton's sitting today. And I'm pissed the entire episode. I don't talk. I'm just like, this ruined my entire day, dude. Can we wrap this up soon?
It's ruined my day.
It did. I just came in and Colton was sitting in my spot and was like, I'm going to be mad for a few days about this. I got over it, but
Did you?
no, forever salty about it.
All right. It's cool. No Nat Ones asks, be honest, have you ever played a horny bard? Also, Fel is stupid, handsome, talented, and a joy to be around. Sorry, not sorry. Okay.
You don't
You don't have to be
I would have
sorry.
to
That was
agree.
really
Yeah.
nice.
I don't think he's stupid though. I think smells.
Smell?
Did he put stupid in there? I heard
I think he
handsome
said
and my eyes went
stupidly
blank. So.
handsome.
Yeah. He only
Oh,
said
okay.
stupid actually.
Oh,
So
nice.
I just said I
then
just
answer
said
the
also smell is not foopid, but you know, I
You can go back
sort
and
of
edit
have
it out.
played a horny bard before. I don't know, not really. I don't think being horny is like something that's like fun to play in D&D, and I think there are only very specific people that can kind of pull it off. And then they pull others off. Hey.
Oh my
Hey.
god, the one that pulled you off. It's my favorite one. I've played a horny rogue before, and maybe technically a horny wizard, but it's just because they were tiefling.
Yeah. Jace
Yeah.
was horny in the early days, but not really anymore. I don't like playing him like that.
Yeah, Jace sort of became like dad.
Yeah, it was more fun. I like playing dads.
Yeah, you do.
It's real fun. Fella, have you played a
think-
horny bard?
I think I played like a horny warlock at one point, but I don't think I've
Okay.
the bard that I'm playing now had to ask a character what love is because he's a warforged and he like doesn't get emotions. It's like a character thing, but
That's
at the end of I think the last episode he had to ask a character like, hey, can you explain to me like what love is like? So he's not horny in any way, but I think I'd have to agree with you. I don't know. I just don't. Are a lot of people like putting sex in their D&D game? Like I've never put it in mine, and I guess
So
that's
like,
just not an area I've explored.
We really haven't, but like recently with Evenfall, which is a game we play on Arcane Arcade that I've been running for a couple of months. Jordan's character Kurt is kind of like a sexual being, and it's actually worked out really well because Kurt more or less just makes innuendos towards the party. And then but Kurt like specifically needs consent, which is good. I feel like a lot of people when they're horny are like, I'm going to cast charm person and make this person fuck me. And it's like, that's weird and gross.
Evil.
Yeah.
Bad.
So, but like Kurt is like whenever it's downtime, it's like, okay, Philip, you're gonna go try to find information. Phelan, you're gonna go talk to people. Stibbles, you're gonna go be Stibbles. And then Kurt, what are you doing? Kurt's like, I'm gonna go to the tavern, I'm gonna play music, and if anybody's interested in me, I'm taking them home. And it's like, there we go. That's that's a way you can do it. It's just kind of like a fade to black kind of thing. And then maybe the NPC comes up later. But I like that's a really good way to go about it. I feel like the way Jordan kind of does it, which is kind of like, it's off to the side. It's still there, but it's not like the primary focus of the characters being like, I need to fuck everyone.
Yeah.
And so it's good. It's a good time. And also like Jordan is aware that the innuendos make certain characters uncomfortable and then like plays into that a bit. So like some of the like Philip will like take it and he'll be like, oh yeah, okay, Kurt, all right, whatever. But like Phelan, Grace's character, will be like, I don't know how to respond to this. This is really weird. And then like Kurt will like keep pushing it and it's really funny. So yeah, that's a good time. But yeah, I can't play that. I don't want to play that. That sounds weird. I don't want to do that. I do like the idea of a horny warlock though, but they're horny for their patron.
Oh, fun. Like they have a thing for their patron. That's nice.
That would be so sick. Like, what if it was like, I don't know, just off the top of my head, first example, Zariel, maybe? That would be really interesting, I think, a character for me specifically.
Sort of like a simp lock. You're kind of simping
kind
for
of,
for your patron.
Yes. Or maybe a paladin, Oath of the Simp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Circle of the Simp. Way of the Simp.
Way of the Simp.
I'd be a simp monk. I think that would be fun.
Yeah, for who? Your key?
Yeah,
balance?
I think the cleric or the warlock one where you have like you kind of warlock is fun because you could like subscribe to your patrons like OnlyFans.
Oh,
like
yeah.
It's kind of the deal. You're the only patron.
Your invocations are OnlyFans pictures, and like when you look at them, they're like so powerful. You're just like, oh, and you get like, I can see magical darkness now.
I like the idea that this is my sub. This is the way of this. This is my Pact of the Simp subclass idea. My homebrew is that at the end of the day, whatever spell slots you don't spend, they come back to you as OnlyFans pictures. Wow. So you have this incentive of like, oh, I got to help my party out. I got to cast spells. But if I cast my spell slots, then I'm not going to get the pictures at the end of the day, which is pretty interesting, I think.
I like that.
At late levels, your patron casts Dream, and you get to spend a wonderful night with them.
Oh my god, this is going to be my next character. This is sick.
I think Dream is like a 6th level spell, though, so something like that.
Not only do I have like really warm blood, I'm also fat. So like it's
Go ahead with that first part again.
Hot all the time.
Run me by that first part. You have warm
not only
blood?
do I have warm blood.
Yo, I've been to the doctor. The doctor was like, "Hey, you got the warm blood. Your blood's too warm, Jakey boy." Like, what do you mean? You're running hot.
I'm
you got
hot
90.
all the time. Just my blood is warm. You know, people walk around and like they get their hands cold and shit. Like it's like, oh, it's cold out. My hands are freezing. My hands just don't get cold. They're just warm all the time. Yeah, no, it just doesn't happen. I just have really good circulation or something.
When I was a kid, I'd go around touching the stove and it was completely on. I just didn't notice, and my mom got mad at me. What do you mean?
My
you have
hands
hot
are
blood?
at 200 degrees Fahrenheit at all times.
They call me Jakey Hot Blood. You know what? That's my barbarian subclass.
My second channel is going to be Jakey Hot Blood.
It's your OnlyFans name.
Side channel.
Oh my god, yes. Such a good idea.
Subscribe.
Could bring in some money.
Top tier patrons only. On Patreon, find me.
Guys, if you are on my Golden Bard subscription on Patreon, you get actually okay. Davy Chappie's Patreon is like that. His Patreon is only pictures of his tongue.
No, it's not.
Excuse?
No.
I'm
Is it
subscribed
really?
to it. He just once a month sends a picture of his tongue.
For is it like a gag that I'm not aware of, or is it just sort of a fun-
I don't know.
That's awesome.
This is a
It's good to
lie.
have a.
No, it's not. I promise you.
I don't
I'll
want
show
to
it
see
you
it.
right
I
now.
don't.
Okay, all right.
I kind of want it. You can show it to me later.
I will. We can look at it together privately in a closet in the dark.
Yeah, for those of you who have subscribed to Arcane Lounge After Dark.
After dark, we look at pictures of Davy's tongue. Oh man. Colton Halfley asks,
Hate that
what is your favorite trope to incorporate into your game? As a DM, for example, friendly bartender that has info, big evil guy just being evil, etc. Alternatively, as a player, what's your favorite to experience?
My answer is the same for both of those. You ready?
Yep.
A black market. Put a black market in your game. Put shady like salespeople in the black market. It's never not been fun. I think
cool.
every one of my NPCs that sells something, it's either like very high and like high and tight, like very, very prestigious, or like person who sells clocks like out of their briefcase. Those are the two NPC salesmen that I know to use. But every time I've put a black market in like a game where you can buy like underground stuff, it's been fun because you can like have a little adventure, sending your party, like they hear about the black market and then they have to get the secret passcode to go to the black market, and there's rules of the black market.
So
and there's
cool.
you can always put a lot of fun characters. There's not gonna be like, hey, I'm Walter, here's my business card, welcome to the black market. But that would be a cool way to subvert it. But yeah, that would be my answer. It's
you know,
put a
now
black
that I'm
market.
thinking about it, I do notice that every time there's a black market in my games, the players are like, oh, we gotta go there. What is it with black markets being like like D&D characters are just like
It's fun.
That's important.
It's forbidden, and like you can, and it implies to the adventurers that there's going to be like stronger items because
It's gonna be
it's going
cooler
to be
stuff,
you
yeah.
can't just get at like your local, blacksmith. You know
You're
what I
a
mean?
genius. That's really cool. I like to imagine that guy that sells clocks in a briefcase comes up and he goes, "You got the time?" And then he opens up his briefcase and clocks fall out and he goes, "Oh God, oh no, my clocks." He has to pick them all up and then put them in the briefcase.
In my game, he's a guy named Jakey Hotblood, and what happens is he walks up to him and he says, "Hey, you got the time?" And they say, "No, we live in a pre-clockwork society. What do you mean? I can look at the sun. I can't." And then he goes, "Well, check out these babies." And he opens it up, and he's the guy who invented the clock.
And then like when he goes, "Good to meet you," and you shake his hand, you take 5 fire damage.
You start sweating because it's, he's a fire genasi.
Yeah. That's it. Mhm. What's your favorite trope, Spencer?
Wacky shopkeep.
Oh, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do it a lot, so it's like it's always there.
Because shopkeepers are so fucking boring.
Very recently, we got a skeleton barkeep, and he was awesome.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where do you put it on a scale of like 1 to 10? Like where are you falling when you say wacky? Are we going 10? Are we going like 5?
Never 10 because then it's just too much. Maybe like a 5 or a 6. Because if it's any more than that, it's like too absurd. You can't like who was one that I disliked? The guy that sold
immersion
buckets.
breaking.
This bucket
That
guy.
man went insane.
I know, I understand that. But he wasn't wacky anymore. He was insane. And he just wanted to give us buckets.
Yeah, the town felt bad for him.
But then when he was no longer
he was a
insane,
soldier, and then he came back from
was
war,
funny.
and all he wanted was buckets, and they were like, "We don't know what to do with him."
Well, we healed him. He's fine now.
Yeah, he's fine now.
You healed him? His love of buckets was an affliction that he had, or
I
in a way.
think so.
Yeah.
I think he went crazy, and then all he had was buckets.
So to make
Okay.
it really easy and simple, I don't think this was ever explained on stream. So you get exclusive insider info into Evenfall lore. a long time ago, there was a devil war in my game. That was the previous game that we played. That was Sunder. It was a really long campaign that we played. Devils were invading the material plane. They stopped them. They're gone. One of the devil lords, the archdevils, is still trapped on the material plane because they cut off the connection to the hells. So he's fucking shit up in the material plane still, kind of, hiding and doing things. So there are people in my world who are like devil hunters, and they go out and they try to find them. So this dude was like a devil hunter, and he went out. Bale, who it is, found him and was like, I hate you guys. I'm going to torture you to find out where the other devil hunters are so we can find them. And they turned him upside down and like waterboarded him with a bucket. And then he eventually went insane because of it. They casted like madness spells on him as well. And then they let him run free. When he went back to the town, he was crazy. His brother also was like so in grief that he went into to live in the forest on his own, and then fell into the Shadowfell, which you guys found. Yeah. And then you guys, I don't know what you did. You healed him somehow and then cured his madness, and now he doesn't have a bucket problem anymore. Yeah. But when they first found him, he was just like, "Do you want a bucket?" And he sounded like the soldier from TF2. And
that's awesome.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then now he's like, "I'm regular man."
That's good.
Yeah, definitely. My favorite trope is, I like a lot of tropes, to be honest. I really like story tropes. I think some people really try to be too difficult and complicated with their D&D campaigns and stories and plot lines. And so I really like to just simplify it. And as a player, I like this too, which is just like, there's a guy got captured by monsters, go save him and we pay you. It's like, you know what? That's great. And then you can throw subversions in there if you want to, but you don't need, I feel like a campaign that's like, there's a thing and there's this guy wants it, but also this guy hates that guy. And then there's this political problem over here where there's governmental issues of trade and economy. So a war happened and then this person went here and now monsters are up there. And it's like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. So I think I really like simplified like storylines and plots. I think that's fun. So yeah, that was a long-winded explanation, but I mean, M asks, let's combine some Feltheleb classic queues into a single Uber queue. If there was a fast food chain based on the life of the dark alternative reality version of yourself, what would it be, and what would be your favorite item on the menu? You responded, "This counts as being mean to me." All right, and you have to say sorry.
That was a consolidation of all of the like questions, a bunch of the questions that I had asked on this podcast previously, huh?
So it's
an alternate reality.
The dark reality.
Mm-hmm.
So tavern based on your dark reality.
Yes. And it's your favorite item. Well, there's fast food too.
So a fast food restaurant based off of your dark alternate reality. And then what's your favorite food from that item? So starting with my reverse self, I think I would be like really, really, just keeping in the D&D context, really gatekeepy. If it was the dark alternate reality version of myself. So probably a fast food restaurant. It's like the Golden Arches, but there's like, it's closed. There's a big lock on it. Mick, don't come here.
Mick gatekeepers.
Yeah, Mick gatekeepers. And there would be,
don't come here.
I'm trying to think of like what's the most just plain
and
straight
when you
white
go to
guy
eat there,
food.
the people there are like, you don't look like you would enjoy our food.
Oh, that's really funny.
And then they just insult you the whole time, and they just try to get you to like not eat there. But like weirdly, it's counterproductive. It makes people want to eat there more.
Yeah,
they're like, fuck you. I bet I can handle it.
Yeah, you come as soon as you go there. If you're like a woman or a minority, they're like, so what do you like name 3 menu items if you like eating here so much. Prove that you like to eat here.
You have to prove it.
You could walk in and you walk in and you're like, can I get a Mick Gatekeeper's special? And they're like, oh yeah, you know what that is? Like what's on it? It's like proof.
What was it called before it was called that? Do you know? Have you read the comics? No? All right. Well,
You're just-
I don't think you should have it. I don't think you could really appreciate it.
And the people who work there are really mad at corporate for like catering to people who like, so you're here for the toy, you're here for the toys, like to kids, they say this. You're only here to get the toys, so it doesn't, you're not a real fan of our restaurant. There's
that
like
restaurant
a sad
specifically has gone back to being what it used to be because corporate changed it to make it a little more inclusive, and they went, no, we want it the old way. We like it that way. It was more original that way. It was more fun.
Corporate ruined McGatekeepers. Can we just be honest?
Hail corporate, r/hail corporate.
The idea is that the employees are so gatekeepy that they're gatekeeping their own restaurant that they're working at, and it would be the McGatekeeper special at the restaurant.
That sounds
That's
awesome.
mine.
That's
That's
cool.
my dark
Will you
alternate
tell us
reality
what it
fast
tastes
food.
like?
You have
Or no?
you haven't tasted it, or
Well, I
if
mean,
you haven't tasted it, then you probably. I mean, this is just like classic people who come here. Is they
okay. Well,
pretend like they know
but
what
I
it's like.
wanted to like maybe try it. Like I never tried it before.
It's a
So
lot to
maybe,
get
like-
into. It's a lot to get into.
Well,
There's a lot
I
of-
heard about it. I heard about
In order
it.
to,
I read a little about it.
well, you read a little or you read a lot, because you're not going to really you're not going to be able to enjoy it if you don't.
I thought the movie
more.
was good.
Okay,
the
yeah,
movie
like
was-
everyone else thought. Yeah, the
Yeah.
movie was good. Sure,
I-
it didn't stick to any of the Gatekeeper's lore. It's sure. So that's probably why you liked it. Had a lot more. I don't know why they cast a female as the main character of the Gatekeepers movie. Everyone who works here is male, so it didn't make any sense.
It's about that restaurant and the
It's
employees there.
It's like,
What's your dark
s-
restaurant?
I
Spencer?
I feel like it's ironic that that you weren't involved in the bit. Spencer,
Yeah,
I
sorry,
apologize.
Spencer.
Yeah, no, it's
Gatekeeped
fine.
you from. I didn't mean to intentionally gatekeep you from the Gatekeepers bit. That was ironic of us. I apologize.
I think mine would be like a steakhouse.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, and they only sell like
It's funny because Spencer's vegetarian.
I am
Oh, I
like
didn't know that.
almost raw meat, like
Ew.
barely cooked, like you know how fancy people like it.
I mean, I kind of like it like
yeah,
that.
I know that was an attack on you. Yeah,
When I cook my steak, I have the pan on and I get it really hot and I just go, and it's done.
yeah. That would be my restaurant.
But what would be your favorite meal on it?
Well, they only sell raw steak, so that
Okay, all right.
maybe
Just the raw steak.
Maybe like boiled broccoli,
Okay.
no flavor. That would
Gross.
Love.
Yeah,
I love boiled broccoli. What you guys are talking
Ew.
about?
you gotta.
What? I
gotta
like
roast
it.
it.
No, you take your broccoli, you take a bowl, you put some
Here you go,
olive oil, you put some salt and pepper, you shake it up, and then you put it on a pan, and then you put it in the oven 450 for like 10 minutes.
Longer.
The best goddamn broccoli you'll ever eat in your life.
Needs to
It's
be
like crispy and roasted and salty and
No cap. Can you send me that recipe after this? Because I
Okay.
don't eat as much broccoli as I could. I'll send you
Well,
a Brussels
it's
sprout
really
recipe if you want one. I love Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts are so good.
Welcome to the Brussels Sprouts podcast.
Okay, so I like to think that realistically, talking about it, because you were Mr. Gatekeep, I think I would be Mr. Corporate. I would be like really wanting to control everything, really wanted to be like, this is like a business that I want to, create and all. It's like, there's like no empathy involved at all. It's just greed and how big can we grow and can we take over the world? So I think my restaurant would be,
McDonald's. Boom.
yeah, it
got
would pretty
'em.
similar to McDonald's.
Nailed
It would just be regular McDonald's, but way more evil. So not McGatekeepers, but like it would be. I mean, no, it would just kind of be that. It would be really cheap ingredients, and it would be. But it'd be McDonald's, but everything's really expensive. Yeah,
Oh,
and then
fun.
we try to like make it look like it's gourmet and try to be like, ooh, look how cool this is and how cool it looks.
Is it
and
still?
how-
Is it
But
still
really,
fast food though?
No, it would be a restaurant. It'd be like The Habit. It'd be like, this is fast food, but also you act like it's a restaurant.
Mhm.
And then And then we'd advertise it like, this is gourmet food. It's so great. We have specialty items for those who, really want to indulge. And then it's like, what the fuck? This is just a chubby white guy who just doesn't do anything all day except for make YouTube videos. And it's like, don't look behind the curtain. Stop. And yeah, that would be it. And my favorite thing from the menu there would be, it would probably be like a caramel chocolate vanilla shake. Only I can have it. It's not on the menu, and every time anybody asks for it, the employees have to run back and break the machine.
Yeah.
I like that it is on the
nobody
menu.
can have it.
It is on the menu, but it still has that qualifier where like it's Jacob's milkshake, and
No,
I like the
it's
idea that
holding
it comes out in a cloche. I've never eaten at a place where. Have you ever eaten at a place where they have like a cloche? Do you know what I mean? Like the
what
little,
do you eat, like a lever?
the metal dome that sits on like a plate of food, and you remove the metal dome. The metal dome is called a cloche, and then you eat the food.
Oh yeah, no, I know. What
do you know
you're
what I'm talking about? I know they exist because they exist in like TV and movies and stuff.
I've never seen that before in real life.
Do places serve like that? Like, are they like, here's your steak, sir, and they lift up to show you?
I've never ever eaten at a place like that does
what's
that.
that place downtown that's like the fancy place? Do they do that?
Wally's.
Wally's, yeah, definitely.
I don't know where you guys live.
No, it's not Wally's.
No, it's not.
No, they don't do that.
Oh,
They
the
don't do that?
Sunset.
I've
I
never
don't
been
think
there.
they do that.
I've never been there.
Is there a place
I've
called
been
Wally's?
there either. No, it's not.
Oh my god!
I'm calling it Wally's.
Oh, sorry. I thought I had like invented like I had.
You just
My
guessed
brain.
it.
I don't know. That would have been
place
sweet.
Called Wally's where we live. I try hard not to dox us. I know we've done it before, but sometimes I'm like, should we call out a restaurant that only exists in our very small hometown?
Fair.
So we call it Wally's now.
Yeah, Wally's.
Well, I don't know. I've never been to Wally's. I know people that have been to Wally's. No, I have not.
You've been to Wally's once.
I thought that you.
Jacob, I remember.
You've probably been to Wally's.
Remember? Tell us what
Fel,
you
did you see me there? Were you like Batman at the end of Batman when he's sitting there at the restaurant and I look up and I'm Michael Keaton and I'm like, oh.
But you don't say anything. But you're
I
like,
don't say anything. Yeah, I'm like,
that's the guy.
The waiter comes. He opens.
He opens the thing and I'm like, oh, they did have these.
I love Wally's, man. Good place.
Apparently, they went to Wally's when I was a senior in high school. They went to Wally's. Yes, I still live in the same town I went to high school in. The senior class went to Wally's, and apparently it's like the fanciest restaurant in our town, and it's really expensive. So they had like a tea there.
Yeah.
But it was at lunchtime. So they barely got any food, and apparently a bunch of people, including like our school secretary, afterwards went to like Taco Bell to get more food because they went and had like a really fancy tea, and then we're like, oh fuck, we're still hungry. Let's go to Taco Bell. And they ate Taco Bell afterwards. But I didn't go. That's all I heard from it. So yeah. Pause real quick.
Wally's is good. There's a place. Oh, sorry.
All right. No, we're good. You're good.
Okay.
Go.
I was gonna say there's a place. Are we still going or are we on break? Oh, I was say there's a place near me that's so expensive and they only it's the like best steakhouse it's one of the top steakhouses in the country and I live in like a small town. I don't know why it's here, but they only take cash. Isn't that wild?
That's weird.
You can't do card. They literally have like a sign at the front that's like we're only gonna take cash and it's so expensive. So I hope you have to bring like $100 bills to eat there. It's wild.
Well, that's crazy.
I ate there one time for when I graduated from college and it's fine. It wasn't like only bring cash good. I don't think there was no cloche. There was no cloche.
They didn't have a cloche. It's not fucking.
It wasn't Wally's. It wasn't Wally's good, but no, it was good. It was good. Don't get me wrong, but I was surprised by the cash requirement.
I would have laughed really hard if you were like, yeah, it was this place called Cracker Barrel. I don't know if you guys have heard of it.
The waiters have like star numbers on their aprons and they go around and they serve catfish and
God damn it, that's gonna be our next Tall Tales game. We keep making them after fast food for some reason.
It's
and
awesome.
Last time it was Five Guys, and now it's gonna be Cracker Barrel. Oh, man.
Do you guys know what that represents? Have you guys eaten at a Cracker Barrel recently?
No, I know nothing about Cracker Barrel other than the internet.
Anywhere
we
near
don't have
us.
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw the blank look on both of your faces when I mentioned that. That's a thing at Cracker Barrel. The waiters and waitresses have they have aprons and they have stars. And I think it goes to, I'm trying to think, I think 1 to 6. They have a star. I don't know if it's a rating system, if it's a mark of seniority.
For that person?
Yeah, each person, it'll be like Dave, and Dave has 3 stars. And you'll see Dave, and if Dave, I don't know if it's like a collectible system, you don't want Dave isn't rare enough to come to your table.
Oh.
The nearest Cracker Barrel to us is 170 miles away in LA.
Are you kidding me? That's a long distance.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look up Cracker Barrel star rating. I swear I'm not making this up. I think, but now that you guys aren't there to confirm it, I'm worried that I am making it up. And I dreamed this Cracker Barrel star system.
That's so weird. What the hell? The walk around
Next
with that.
time we're in LA, we should go to Cracker Barrel.
There's 3 in LA apparently, and they're not even really in LA. They're kind of on the outskirts of LA. Yeah.
So they can get that taste of country living.
Guess so. Which is weird because I feel like we would have one because we kind of live in Yeehaw land, but it's California.
No, we have what's that other place? I can't remember any names of any. We'll call that one Wally's too.
Wally's.
It's by the coast.
It's by the coast?
Yeah.
You know Wally's by the coast.
Wally's by the coast.
Of course.
Yeah, they don't have the
This ain't your downtown Wally's.
Is this the place where you can get the bull testicles?
What?
Oh, there's a place.
You can get bull testicles?
Yeah, there's
That's
a place
Wally's in the country.
There's a place in Pismo where you can.
Wally's in Pismo.
Wally's in Pismo.
What? No, it's in
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's in freaking. Sorry, I can't remember the
It's
names
okay,
of
it's fine.
anything.
You guys,
while you think,
I looked up the Cracker Barrel's system. It's called the PAR program, the Personal Achievement Responsibility, and it means if you complete additional training beyond your onboard for their position, they have a skills test. They have a skills test that you can do to get rising star icons, and you can get stars. And there are 4 PAR levels for each skill position, and each star represents a PAR level. I mean, this is Dungeons and Dragons. This is a cool new way to.
We should make a role playing game.
This is a role play.
Those are your levels.
They've been tricking us this entire time. You think that they've just been working at Cracker Barrel, but in reality, they've been playing a tabletop role playing game. They've been gaining levels. They've been trying to fight the ultimate, Cracker Barrel, end boss. I don't know who the end game boss is. It's
a barrel with crackers in it.
That might be it. There's a large barrel.
Yeah.
I think Cracker Barrel is good if you were a kid who liked horses growing up. That's a good restaurant.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we kind of live in that sort of area, but also not really. We live in a very weird area of California where it's we have 20% California people, 20% farmers, and then the rest is
they're all from Texas.
We're just gonna pretend we're in Texas, and it's guys, what are you doing?
There's always some manner of person at your high school who pretends they're a lot more southern than they are. I don't know if that is true for you guys.
Yes.
We definitely
oh my God. We had there was one guy specifically, but there were a couple of people who were this is a school. And then a dude shows up in boots and a cowboy hat. And you're like, buddy, buddy, we are 3 hours from LA.
Every
it's
day.
Good.
What?
I think he was actually from Milwaukee or something, and every day he would wear a cowboy
Not better.
hat. Yeah.
God damn it.
Where was he from?
I don't know.
It's a cool aesthetic. It's just sometimes it looks like you're trying too hard, I guess. But that's what high school's for. You try too hard.
It really needs to be you need to go all in if you're gonna do it. Walk in a class
ride your horse
ride your horse. Walk in a class with jingle bobs and and spurs, and be clank clank clank, and walk in, and then you need to have rope. You need to have a beard, and you need to be Dutch. Where are we going to next, Dutch?
Well, he had a beard because he was in my class. Towards the end of high school, he did have a beard and really long hair, and he still rocked the cowboy hat on occasion.
That's all. Mad respect for that guy.
Yeah.
Help me, Dutch.
It's just we went to nerd high school, specifically college prep high school, and we had schools in the same town that were we have actual ag programs. If that's what you want to do, bro.
He was just no, I just looking like this.
This is my aesthetic.
I have a plan, Arthur. Have some goddamn faith.
Dutch, I've been helping you this whole time. You haven't really explained what's going on. We just seem to be killing
You
people
guys
and
left
running
me for
away.
dead. In a couple of years, I'm gonna hunt all you fuckers down.
That's pretty good.
Shut up, John. We don't. You're just a little bitch.
John, I
Fuck you,
accidentally
Arthur.
John, I accidentally sold your son into slavery. I apologize for
God
Dutch.
damn
Dutch said
it,
it was a good
Arthur.
idea.
Dutch didn't. I loved Red Dead Redemption 2. That was a
Me
sick
too.
game.
I'm playing it right now. I'm replaying it right now. I played it when it first came out, and I was like, that was fucking amazing. And then I was like, I needed to wait a while. And now
I'm
that
not
it's been
gonna-
like 2 years later, I'm replaying it. I'm like, I fucking love this
When they
game.
go and get Jack back, and he's like, "Have you guys ever had spaghetti?"
Yeah, I love that part so much. When they it's this whole hunt to get him back from Angelo Bronte, and they're like, "Are you okay, Jack? Are you alright?" He's like, "I'm fine. Have you guys had spaghetti before?"
Yeah. He's like, "Papa Bronte gave me shoes."
And John's like, don't call him that. Don't call him Papa Bronte. And he's like, we wore slippers and it was a good time. And they're like, you were kidnapped.
It's really sad because like when you pick him up, he's like, you realize that all his whole life has been like out on the trail.
Yeah.
And he's like, I like living in a house. I can
Yeah.
walk downstairs. Have you seen a bed before? And it's like, oh God, this
It's
poor
like they
kid.
gave me books and shoes, and it was great. Can we go
Yeah.
back?
Have you ever heard
love
of
that game.
milk? And it's like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna play the hunting missions, Dutch. I'm not gonna do them. They're not fun.
Been trying to find a goddamn armadillo for days. The hunter needs me to get 2 3-star ones. I only found 1.
There's too
I'm
many
not
hunting
fucking kidding.
missions in the game.
I spent hours, like 4 to 6 hours every day for like a week trying to find a goddamn 3-star armadillo, and I couldn't do it, and I gave up. And that's when I gave up playing Red Dead.
Good.
And then I'm back into it, and the hunting still kind of sucks, but because the system is weird. I kind of wish there was just a way to do it quickly, but there isn't. You just have to wait around, and I'm impatient. I
forget what
love
the
that game
question
though.
was.
I get that it gets like a lot of flack because it's like I don't know, people want to have their freedom in missions and stuff, but the story is so captivating that I just love it. So, Monchi the Goblin asks, what exactly is a leb?
It's not a thing. It's a made. I said this at the start of the podcast.
Well, it's a question,
made-up
so I have to
game.
ask it. I'm
Oh, okay. It's a
contractually
made up.
obligated.
It's not anything. At least that I'm aware of. It's just a made up name. I think it was randomly.
Well, most names are made up.
What? True. Language is subjective. It's all arbitrary.
Marion asks, what is the tensest and or scariest in-game moment you've ever experienced?
The tensest for me was one of my characters in my campaign that I'm running is a Warforged, and he didn't used to be a Warforged. He was a fire genasi who got sick with this special magical illness and then got put into a Warforged body so that he could save himself and not have the sickness. And then they found out later in the campaign that his real body was like actually alive. So I gave him the opportunity to take a really risky medical procedure to change over back from the Warforged body into the fire genasi body.
Oh.
And I had written down the thing for success was he just couldn't, he got 3 rolls, 3 D20 rolls, and he just couldn't roll a nat 1. If he rolled a nat 1, his character was gonna die. And I explained to him like at the beginning how risky the procedure was gonna be, and like he could die if something goes wrong, and it's pretty much just gonna be luck. And we stole something from, I think it was from you, Jacob, that like we had like at the beginning of the sessions they can draw like a card and they can like replace their rolls with like a card thing. I think you had a video about that.
Yeah.
He rolled a nat 1 and I didn't. They can replace their roll like with the card that they draw at the beginning of the session. And he rolled a nat 1 and I was like, and I didn't tell him that he could replace his roll, but he was like, I don't want to have this nat run. Can I replace it? And I was like, yeah. And so he replaced his roll, and had he not done that, his character would have died, but I didn't tell him that. So it was very tense for me.
Oh my God.
And I had written down the preconditions for that thing beforehand.
Damn. That's so cool.
He was pretty
also
much
terrifying.
he was aware of the risk more or less going in, but that was a really like tense, very, very tense moment. Because we all were kind of like gathered around waiting to see the die drop, because I pretty much told him that if he had really bad rolls, he would just die.
Yeah.
And that would have been sad because he was a really fun character. But now he's a Fire Genasi and not a Warforged
That's cool.
anymore. And I let him change his class, which is a thing I do. I let my players change their classes if they want.
That's fun. That's really cool. That's a lot of that's a really neat character idea and concept. So that's kind of cool how you guys executed that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
What about you, Spinus?
Don't call me that. I think there's stop. I'm never ever gonna get over that. You good?
Yep.
Okay, there was a point in Sunder where my character Vincent was kidnapped and dadnapped. Actually, he was just taken by his father back to where he belonged, and his father had made a deal with the overarching bad guy of the game, which was Zariel herself, to, basically give over the rest of the party who she had grown to hate and had reason to kill. And so my character is, I think he was paralyzed at the time and was basically watching everything that was bad that was happening to the party happen. And his magnificent mansion, which was like a magic item, was burned to the ground. And she was going to kill the person that they were dating at the time and all of their friends, and it was just a bad time. I think didn't one of Grace's characters die at that point too? Vega didn't. Or was that later? Okay, so she didn't die.
She did die later.
Yeah,
in
spoilers.
The attack.
Yeah, which was also Zariel. But yeah, that point was pretty bad. It was like, this is all your fault.
Yeah.
And couldn't really do anything about it.
I would have to say the end of Waterdeep Dragon Heist, where Chibis died, where you guys all fought in the underground cellar of the Castle Lanterns with the bearded devils, and it was just like one wrong dice roll.
We would all
everybody was dead, but one right dice roll and they were dead. And it was just like miss.
Ooh.
Hit enough damage to bring you down to 5. Miss. Logan gets hit. Chibis is dead. Oh my God. Yeah. And then it's like, you're unconscious. Then Colton goes unconscious. And it's just like, it's like Tim and this one bearded devil. And it's just like, it's literally just like a roll match of like who can win. And like came out on top by like that much. But unfortunately, Logan's character died, but was able to spare you and Colton, which was, I was sitting there like, I didn't want a TPK. And it was crazy.
Oof.
Yeah.
Can I give one more? I know there was only one. Can I give one more? That's because it just came to me that's not dice based, but role play based. Mm-hmm. In my game, one of my characters, he's a tabaxi and he's a sorcerer and he's a prince of this like really grand like country. It's modeled after France. They go on this quest to find this like little doodad. They go into the dungeon. They get brought there by a guy. And they come out of the dungeon, and the guy is tied up. And the prince's sister found out that the guy had betrayed them, and it was like a really bad betrayal. Like betrayed him to the big bad evil guy. It got intercepted by his sister, who's like a guard of this country. She's also of royal lineage, and his sister was essentially our prince is the guy who plays him. My friend Tristan. Plays him like kind of cowardly and kind of like too afraid to like, he doesn't want to kill people. Like he really doesn't want to have to make these tough choices. And there was this moment where his sister, the character's sister was like, look, if you're going to be the king of our country one day, you're going to have to make these decisions. And he like gives him a sword and is like, you kill this man. And he's like tied up. He's like, he's not a threat at all. She was like, you kill this man, or I take you back to the country right now. And this like, all of this is over. I need you to prove to me right now that you can make these tough choices for our country. And it was the most tense that like I think I've ever felt in like a D&D game. And he ended up making the choice. He ended up
should swing the sword.
He ended up.
I
mean, the guy betrayed him. He ended up killing this guy, and it was like, it was really, really tense emotionally around the table for that. That's one of my like favorite. I just thought of that. That's like. Oh, it was so much fun. It was such a good role play.
I love moments like that are just kind of like, there's no way the party can like sneak their way, cheese their way around something. It's like, this either happens or it doesn't. And the players are like, oh God, we actually have to make a choice, which is so cool, especially for role play aspect. That's so fun. Dang. So Emma asks, Fel, would you consider replacing the dice in a TTRPG game with a twister spinner and mat?
M is referring to a video on my YouTube channel, I think the most recent one, where I said you could play D&D with a dartboard.
I saw the dartboard. Yeah, that was cool.
And I show you how to do that in that video. I think you could play with a twister mat. I'm trying to think of like what's the like most chaotic thing you could play D&D with. I don't know.
Maybe like
I'm trying to think of I'm trying to think of like what you correlate things to. The good thing about the twister mat is like you can correlate like I would do it in terms of 5. So maybe like blue is 1 through 5 or and then your hand could also correlate with like which number in that range. Another fun thing you could do, like, I'm trying to think of something more chaotic. Spin the bottle would be good. You could like put the numbers and then spin. That would be a good one for choosing if you're like the DM and you're actually sitting around a physical table and you need to like choose who goes, who gets attacked or something. You could put a bottle in the table.
Yeah. Do they still have
and
to
spin
kiss?
If you're the DM, you have to, if you get consent from your party members, you can kiss your. It's like the kiss of death. It's sort of Judas Iscariot. You can, the big bad evil guy. Here's the scenario. The big bad evil guy comes out and he's already got like a spell prepared. He comes out of nowhere in the dungeon and he surprises your party, and time slows down as he's looking who to get with this spell, and it could be anyone. And then you spin, and then you pull out a Coke bottle. And you spin, and your party's like, "What are you doing?" And you put it right down in the middle of all the minis, and you spin it so it knocks all the minis out of the way. It completely ruins, and you haven't told anyone about this, so it completely ruins the like map. You have to set it up all after this. But when it lands on someone, you look at them, and then you can go kiss them, and they're like, "What is this? I didn't sign up for this." But then you're like, "Yeah, your character is dead."
Oh,
pretty good.
Yeah, you have a weird moment, and then you're like, "Yeah, you're dead." And you're like. Just a lot of emotions kind of rush into you at that moment. Yeah.
Like always, just communicate with your players. And if you want to do fun stuff, play. There's really, you can go to like any board game and just like take whatever tools are in that board game out. And you could probably find a way to use them in your D&D game if they have like some sort of cool mechanic
Scrabble.
for probability. Scrabble is 6 D6s. So you can do that anyway, right?
That's Yahtzee.
Shoot, which one is Scrabble?
Scrabble's
That's all the letters.
word one.
mm-hmm.
You have to match you have to make words. Oh,
that
like
could
words
be
with
fun.
friends. Yeah.
You could get a lot of Scrabble pieces, and then you could have to like spell out what your character is.
I was gonna say
doing.
that would be cool. Yeah. Like.
And you got to justify it, so you could spell out like puppy, and then you have like I make a puppy. I don't know. These are future Tall Tales episodes.
Yeah, we're gonna play with the Scrabble board and just try to make it work.
All 3 players get Uno cards, and then you, as the DM, get an Uno card. But yours is like mostly +4s. You get more +4s and +2s than anyone, and whoever gets to Uno first wins the combat.
That's kind of cool. I like that. I'm just trying to think of like, there's so many ways that you could run D&D with like other games. It'd be really interesting. Ticket to Ride.
I don't think I've
Just
ever played
use that to like travel. I don't know, or just like fight a bad guy, but you have to play chess. It's a different
Is this
game
a scenario
now.
where you're bringing out several board games, or is it just one throughout?
Easily several board games.
And don't confide yourself to board games. I mean, put hide and seek into your D&D game. You're
okay,
the DM.
Logan.
You just is that a thing he did?
He made a video with that was basically like every game is hide and seek.
Oh, I remember that video. But
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the
yeah.
same for D&D. So how combat works is the DM blindfolds himself, and then you tell your players to hide, and then you go find them.
Because we did a lot of questions. Thank you everybody for all the questions. You guys sent so many.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate it. You guys are really cool. Before we strap on our rocket boots, fly out of here into the stratosphere onto the moon, why don't we do some of the genre jar?
The full genre jar?
The genre jar that
It's
is
full.
whoa, don't spill it. It's full to the brim.
Whoa, watch
Yeah,
out.
it's very
It's
heavy.
I
getting
can't even
heavier
imagine how
every
much
week.
stuff is in there. It's so full of stuff.
Yeah, it took me like 2 weeks to fill that thing up. Yeah.
Questions are
Careful,
questions, but the genre jar could be anything.
They're spilling out. Look, there's
Yeah.
just so many.
Wow.
God, I'm barely
All right,
even moving
all
my
right.
hand.
That's
Okay,
enough
let's
sound.
do this one.
Yeah.
So,
love that bit.
what is everybody's top 5 or just favorite characters you've played?
Oh.
I'm not.
Oh.
Oh no.
I think I've only had 5.
Yeah, I
They're
was
all
like,
named Jace.
Yeah.
I'm stuck. I can think of like 4 that I've played.
All right, do them. Speed round, go.
5 characters that I've played. I currently play Flotsam, who is a Warforged bard, who but is struggling to learn what emotions are.
I've seen art of that character. Very cool.
He's a cool guy. He has no face and just lifeless eyes. He's a villain NPC. I love him. That's
great.
how I designed him. Then I played in the last campaign I was in. I played Akmenos, who was the horny warlock. He was a warlock of a fae. I forget. We didn't play for the campaign very long.
Okay, cool.
The first character I ever played was Akmenos. Or no, that was the last one I just mentioned. It was Gracchus Elmsplinter, who was a half-elf fighter who used bows, who was very rich. His thing was that he was rich, and he liked to tell people that he was rich, and he was really annoying.
That was his whole character. He was rich.
And then I made him into an NPC in a one-shot that I like to run. And yeah, his whole thing is like, can I have some caviar? And he's really annoying.
That's awesome.
And now I'm running up against, now I'm all into like one shot. I played for a Pathfinder game, which isn't D&D, but I did it for a no-now games. I played James Ratman, who was just like a rat. He was like a tax collector, and he would go around and he was like, can I get you, give me more money. I need money. And,
he works for the rich guy.
For Gracchus Elmsplinter.
Yeah, definitely.
I think of other. I played in a futuristic, future cyberpunk D&D one shot, and I played a guy, and I can't remember his name, but I played it with Eldritch Sugar. I remember she was in it. And he was just like this corporate drone. He was like really greasy. I can't remember his name for the life of me, but I really like playing him. He was just like greasy sort of like corporate guy, and he's like, I love corporations. It's kind of like your my evil counterpart of yourself.
Yeah, okay.
Fair. He had a fake metal jaw, because that was a thing in the supplement that we had, and I could go up and bite people, and it did 3d6 damage. It was awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was cool. I couldn't use it that often, but I remember that was a lot of fun. I like that character, even though I can't remember his name.
You got some cool characters, man. That's awesome.
That's all of them.
Spencer,
Why don't you go first?
you what? Because I want you to. Okay, fine. I'll go first.
Mm-hmm.
Jace, I've talked about him before a lot. Jace is, I've played him in multiple games, all it's ridiculous. There's many versions of Jace, but he's just kind of like my go-to character. He's a bard. He's sometimes a fighter, also known as Fard. And he
Nice, dude. It sounded like fart. That was awesome.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. You can also do monk and fighter, which is Fonk. But I say he's like my me character because he's just an exaggerated form of myself. He's just really dumb, but sometimes he's charismatic, but oftentimes he doesn't know how to really do anything. He's kind of fake it till he makes it. And he's died many times. Yeah. So I think my other favorite character I've ever played is probably Damon, who I play on Adventures of Avnia. Tyler's game. He's a half-orc artificer with his little big horned sheep battled companion buddy named Pythias. And he's a half-orc, but he is the furthest from a stereotypical half-orc, in which he's really big. He's like into health and fitness and likes to, make sure that he keeps up with it. But he's also an enormous nerd. And he's very like soft boy energy. He's also kind of party dad. He just wants to help people, and if you asked him to raise his voice, he'd be like, "Arr," and that's all he could do. And he used to sound like a cowboy, but he wanted to remove a lot of his past life from himself, so he installed a voice modulator into his body that makes him sound Canadian.
Yeah.
So he kind of sounds like this and walks around like, "Oh, hi everybody, I want to help you out. Okay, let's go over there. Are we gonna kill people? Okay, I'll protect you. Don't worry." So that's Damon. I like playing a himbo. It's fun. And then My other favorite character is probably Syndrix. I really liked playing him in the second season of Tesseract. He was just a stereotypical Dragonborn cleric. He was like, but like way down to like a T. Like he woke up every morning at 7 a.m. and like prayed and like had like exercises and like and proverbs to tell everybody. And then he also laughed really funny. He would go whenever he laughed, and it was a good time. He was fun. I also really like Ket. Ket was another character I played in Logan's game, which is Tesseract. He's an aversion, which are basically tieflings in Logan's world. He was a human that transformed into an aversion via his warlock patron, and he was basically Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
That's kind of what he was, and he was just this blue guy, and he was a thief at one point in time, and now I'm just trying to make my way in the world. I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm going to teleport and be scared. That was his whole character. I mean, do I have any other characters I've really played? I really liked playing... I liked Zerakaya. I played him in Marshall's game as an undead warlock. And then I also really like my favorite character in Tall Tales was Spigot. Easily Spigot.
Good old
so
Spigot.
Fun. He looks like Wicket from Star Wars, the Ewok that is with Leia. And he doesn't speak, and he just wants to grab things. He just wants to hold things. And sometimes he makes noises, but not really.
Mm.
So yeah.
I have a lot of characters. We play a lot of D&D.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with number 1, Vincent. He was my tiefling wizard that I played throughout the entirety of Sunder. I'm the only person who stuck with their game 1 character.
Yep.
Which is a little bit of a meme with that game.
Vincent bound the planes together, defeated devils, but also ate peanut butter sandwiches and was gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now he's floating in the void somewhere.
Yeah.
Godspeed.
Yeah.
Godspeed.
Does he have a peanut butter sandwich in the void?
What's the dumbest shit? Okay, I want to talk about this. So they are like level 15, 16 powerful characters that are like defeating archdevils and like nearly surviving these encounters in the hells. And they're casting these like insane spells, trans-dimensional beings. And then they win a fight and they go back to like their house that they live in. And Vincent, like, you were like, I'm going to make a peanut butter sandwich and just eat that. Could you imagine if, like, Zariel was like, where are they now? And she casts scrying, and it's like, Vincent's just eating a
He's, like,
fucking
trying to
sandwich.
get peanut butter off of the roof of his mouth.
Like, what a fucking twink.
He's nice.
That's great. I love that.
Arbus.
Yeah. I like Abris.
Best friend to Ket, who Ket didn't really like her that much, but it's okay.
I did. He just was bad at showing emotion because he had a bad childhood.
She was she came back to life eventually. She's a halfling druid, Circle of the Moon, and she was a thunder bear and a little gremlin.
Yeah. She would cast lightning thunderstorm, whatever.
Yeah.
Which created a cloud, and then lightning would strike down, and then wild shape into a bear.
Yeah.
And
Thunder
it was
bear.
called Thunder Bear.
Yeah. Demon.
Very cool.
So it was just a bear, and then also lightning everywhere.
I love that.
And then there was a point in time where Logan was like, you roll down the hill, and we're like, roll.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, bears roll down hills. And I don't remember if he was like being serious, because I don't know if he was or he wasn't, but Logan was like pretty stern at like, yeah, bears roll down hills. And we're like, that's not their primary form of travel.
And I think in season 2 of Tesseract, there was a point where we encountered a bear, and he was like, it rolls away.
So we don't know if it was a meme or like initially Logan was like, yes, bears roll down hills. And then we memed it. And then he was like, I'm going to turn this into a meme now.
Yeah.
And it was like, did you think bears roll down hills?
Bears roll down.
Yeah. They do.
Like
Confirmed.
head over, like sideways, or
Oh wait,
like
how are
head
you?
like,
How are you imagining the bear rolls
I'm
down the hill?
imagining
'Cause-
the bear is like
Sonic.
somersaulting, like Sonic.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was thinking the bear was sort of sausage, like on its side, like rolling.
I think it'd be more efficient that way.
Yeah.
Which is why I thought it. I didn't
Yeah.
consider the Sonic bear. Nice.
Sonic.
I think someone drew her like as Sonic rolling. Yeah.
Just a bear.
And
coming
then
after you down
it'd
the
just
hill.
be any variation of Eugene or Lander, who are basically the same character. Very different, but still they're both drow rogues, and they're the same subclass that you made. That's basically you're a witcher. But I didn't know that at the time. You were kind of just like, here you go, play this.
Go.
And then
take it.
Philip, who is my paladin barbarian, is a lot of fun. I play that in Evenfall right now.
Yeah.
Or his sister, who I won't give her classes, but because she might show up soon. But I love her very much. So very, very much.
So yeah, you only have 4 characters.
I have
get
like
good.
fucking 40.
You're basically dog water.
Basically dog water. Couldn't think of a fifth
think of any more
character.
characters.
Where are you? Where are you
No
going?
creativity,
You're lost.
no imagination.
Open up
Where
your
are
D&D
you?
Beyond sheets. You can't find it. You don't know where it is.
I have about
Not on your
8.
computer.
He's on me. He's on me.
He's on me. Where are you going? You're getting tapped. You're down. Where are you going? You're dead. You're literally dog water. That's like that.
Is this where this came from?
We spent like before the last Tall Tales that the two of us played together. We spent like a good 30 minutes doing that Fortnite dog water meme. Like
you're way better at it than me. I can't think of anything. I'm always like,
what are you doing? You're rolling
not
a
a pro
D4.
gamer, basically.
You're rolling a D4. You don't know what that is. It's a D4 that has only 4 sides. That's less sides. You can't do any damage with it. Vicious Mockery. What are you doing? It doesn't do any damage. It's like we just did that like at each other.
So good.
For like 2. That was too long. That's a really funny meme though. TikTok's
the Fortnite
really good.
Pro gamer voice. Yeah.
Even though I listen to this on Spotify, I really appreciate that you guys like will bring in TikToks, so because I can like sit there and I can imagine the TikTok, which is pretty
Peppa
good.
Pig and his nipple. Peppa Pig's dad with giant
Pig.
nipple tassels was stuck in my head for a little while.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that one, Fel, but this lady made a whole song.
I think I saw it later. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I saw it. I'm on TikTok
like,
too much. It's real.
Yeah, same. It's starting to get to a point for me now where I'm like, some days I'm just like, I don't fucking like this at all, and I just like scroll through and I'm like, this is, bleh. And it's just like repeats of memes. Like right now, I hate it when I hear like an audio like 10 times in a row, and like the first time I hear it, I'm like, haha, and then like the 10th time it's annoying. But right now, the one that keeps playing is Is this imposter? Is this imposter from Among Us? Among Us? Hello, yes, this is imposter from Among Us. And I'm like, guys.
That's so funny to me.
It was really funny the first couple of times,
Hello?
and now I'm like, shut the fuck up.
It is me, imposter from Among Us.
Yeah.
I like
and then, yeah, there are some audios, though, that I was cry laughing at. I'll never forget. Like, one of my favorites was, it's old, but one of my favorites was, oh no, I think I'm catching feelings.
Oh, yeah.
It was always like 2 dudes, and one dude like bends over a little bit, and the other guy's like, oh no. And I think one of my other favorites was the Steve Harvey one, which was the I love to play with my say it balls. Balls. It's all slowed. Jimmy. Oh my god, it's so
Jimmy.
good. And then
You can't be on TikTok
now,
for too long because your hands will overheat the
Yeah,
TikTok.
your
Yeah,
phone.
I'll hold it for way too long. My phone's too hot. It was too quick. If I do both hands too, it's like, it's really bad. I've
You
shut
get
off my
the
phone that way.
overheating warning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's actually okay. So I used to have a Samsung phone years ago, and I've basically. It's really bad. I basically fall asleep.
This better be
looking
funny
at my
because
phone.
you just laughed at TikTok. You're like, I had a Samsung phone. So it better be a good story. Go
Okay,
ahead.
all right. I'll make sure it's a really good story. So I basically just fall asleep laying down looking at my phone. I go, just fall asleep. Like it's yeah. So I used to have a Samsung, and I would wake up in the middle of the night with this burning pain in my back, which was just my phone overheating, and be like, ooh, and I'd have to like take it out and put it away. Yeah. But now that I have an iPhone, it doesn't do that.
Wow.
I'll just wake up and be like, the fuck? Just like
You're
get
falling
rid of
asleep
it.
on your phone?
So
a lot?
thank you, Apple, for solving that problem for me.
Speaking of Apple, my AirPod is dying.
Yeah, I know mine is
Okay,
too. So
awesome.
yeah. That was a dumb story. It wasn't that funny. So yeah.
Unsubscribe to the
Do
channel.
you just have like Android symbol burned into your
Basically,
back?
kind of all into my back. There's just a
Yeah.
bunch of little
That's
phone
what that is?
imprints. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
strange.
Basically.
It's the map to. It's the only clear
Oh, we
water
can't
that
hear
exists.
Fel.
At the,
Uh-oh.
no. You can?
No! I just said the AirPod is dying.
Yeah.
Can you
Well,
not?
I guess we can just leave.
Yep.
All right.
No.
Good night.
Bye.
Wait, guys.